to give up even when they should. So, stuff happens, and you beat out of the prototype car before getting in this. So my first 2 laps, I'm like, oh, this is a little different. But no, really happy with the way it went. And it's a shame for the race to end like that. But we did it yesterday the right way. We showed the speed we had, and then today we'll take it.
Zach Robichon says maybe the team took a step back in the set. It'll be on the top step of the podium.
Now we'll take a look at the top 20 finishers here at Sebring. You see Trent Nestap coming home in 5th spot. Remo Ricchetti 7th, a good solid run. Patrick Dussault salvaging a top 10 run here today.
And in the 11th spot, the 16 of Jeff Kingsley. And your gold class winner, the number 25, Victor Gomez, 14th overall.
Well, Zachary Robichon was a little bit surprised to come home with the win here today. You can imagine your 2nd place finisher, Will Hardiman, 2nd overall, 1st in the U.S. show. Todd?
Well, Hardiman is getting congratulations and celebrating. What a dramatic end to this race.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm as incredulous as anyone to see what happened in the final corner. I had a front row seat to it. And, those things do happen. Those guys were racing each other hard. And I was sitting in behind them. And I was just going to roll behind them into a 3rd place. And then couldn't believe it, more than anyone, that they took each other out in the last corner. And I just was the conservative guy and rolled to a 1st place finish. So pretty, can't complain about that.
Well, as far as the Canadian points are concerned, we'll take a look at the Platinum drivers in the Canadian Championship. Zachary Robichon on top, obviously, after a great weekend. Remo Ricchetti holding down 2nd along with Marco Cironi, a tie there. Roman DeAngelis just in behind. A little bit frustrating for him. And then rounding out the top 5 is Nelson Mason. Finished atop the podium here at race number 2. He's standing top.
Nelson, lots of drama, lots of action, and it worked out okay for you.
Yeah, we came out on the good end, I guess. A lot of contact, but it was exciting. It was exciting for everyone, I hope.
Exciting for everyone. And you, when something like that happens, is it just instant reaction? You have no...
Yeah, well, coming from my background, I'm not used to touching at all. So, it kind of not panics, but, I get a little bit hesitant with it. But at the same point, we've been working so hard, I had to hold position.
A beautiful day here in Sebring, Florida. A huge field. 34 cars took the green, and the fans all around this circuit were treated to side-by-side racing. Trouble in the early going for Stefan Rudzinski in the 8 car, fighting electrical gremlins all day. Max Tolman had an eventful trip off track, but managed to keep on the straight and finish the race.
Yeah, we saw excitement and action throughout the whole race, start to finish, and we saw the bumps of Sebring catch out in turn 17. Here in turn 1, we've got Tolman in the 83 spun around.
Victor Gomez in the number 25 Gold Cup car, another solid effort. Did have a couple full course cautions that bunched the field, but it made for a dramatic finish at the end. Trent Nestap to the lead. He came under significant pressure by Roman DeAngelis, and then this. By Porsche. And for all the latest news and updates, visit Porsche.ca/GT3 Cup.
And it was a beautiful race day at Sebring International Raceway, and a good day for a lot of Canadians.
Next stop on the calendar will be a Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for all of us at Fuel Media Lab. We'll see you there.
The fastest action on 2 wheels from Italy is on Motorsport TV. It's the CIV from Mugello.
The 9th Mazuga Rally saw 5 days of racing in the desert of southern Morocco. Stunning scenery and competition to be enjoyed on Motorsport TV.
120 plus bidon rasé, ouvre humide, externe, 180 mètres, gauche en 30 plus bref, 80 mètres, frein gauche 120 bon bidon léger tard, 120 bon bidon qui ouvre, 100 mètres, gauche 120 plus et frein 30 mètres, droite 90 plus bidon, ici léger à l'intérieur, 90 plus bidon pour gauche 120 vite bidon qui ouvre long, pour gauche 80 mètres, frein droite 110 bon long, et après 120 bon long, 50 mètres, gauche 120 bon midi léger tard, 120 bon midi léger tard, 100 mètres, attention frein gauche 120 moins bidon pas corde, 120 moins bidon pas corde qui ouvre léger, 80 mètres, frein droite 100 bidon rasé, léger salle inter, ouvre, pour droite 120 bon bidon léger tard, léger salle, 50 mètres, gauche 120 plus bidon qui ouvre léger, 180 mètres, léger tard, gauche 120 léger tard, 100 mètres, droite 140 à fond pour 60 mètres droitier, 150 mètres gauche 120 plus bidon devant deuxième buisson. Pour droite 120 plus léger tard, 120 plus léger tard, 60 mètres, droite en bon léger tenir. Pour gauche 110 plus bidon pas corde. 50 mètres, droite 120 plus juste. Pour gauche 120 plus sur droite corde, sur gauche 130 à fond, 40 mètres, gauche 130 bref, pour gauche 130 moins bidon, 120 mètres, gauche 140 à fond, 150 140 très vite mini bref, et 120 mètres gros frein droite 100 plus bidon qui ouvre léger, 60 mètres, droite 120 moins bidon qui léger tard, 120 bidon qui léger tard qui ouvre, 80 mètres, frein gauche 120 bon petit tenir, 120 bon petit tenir sur droite 110 plus, corde juste, corde juste, 60 mètres frein gauche 120 bon bidon midi léger tard qui ouvre, 50 mètres gauchis et 100 mètres frein avant gauche 143 sur droite 120 plus rasé juste qui ouvre, 60 mètres frein gauche 110 plus tard corde juste, 50 mètres frein droite 90 moins bidon corde sur gauche 110 bidon corde juste, 60 mètres gauche 130 à fond et 120 mètres frein gauche 130 bon bref, 130 bon droite 90 bidon ferme, pour gauche 50 mètres, droite 130 plus bref, sur frein 50 mètres, gauche 100 bon long, sur droite ouvre en frein 30 mètres, droite sans corde, 30 mètres droite sans corde, sur gauche 110 plus 40 mètres, gauchis sur frein 30 mètres, droite sans plus corde, sur gauche 110 à fond, 80 mètres frein, gauche 110 bon bidon léger tard, qui ouvre, 50 mètres gauchis sur droite 120 plus corde dure, et 40 mètres frein, gauche 110 bon midi juste, 60 mètres, gauche 130 mini court, sur droite 130 à fond bref, 70 mètres frein, droite 80 bidon corde. Pour gauche 4 fond, gauche à fond pour droitier et 80 mètres vers gauche, frein avant gauche en 22 mini, sur droite sans plus, corde dure, 50 mètres. Attention, gauche en 22 tard, ferme 100 bidon mini risque, et 40 mètres, droite 120 bon corde dure, pour gauche 130 et 50 mètres frein, droite 110 bon mini. Pour gauche 110 plus bidon, léger tard, bidon qui ouvre 60 mètres, gauche 130 plus tard, rasé, 60 mètres frein, gauche 120 plus bidon, pour gauche 122 frein, sur droite 100 plus midi, 40 mètres, gauche 120 moins bidon tard, ferme, 40 mètres, droite 100 long, léger tard, ferme léger, 60 mètres, gauche 110 plus bidon, 60 mètres, droite 130 plus midi, et frein 40 mètres, gauche 110, midi juste, pour gauche 120 vite et frein 30 mètres, droite 120 moins midi, pour droite 120 vite, 40 mètres, frein gauche 100 bidon les étards, 30 mètres, droite 90, bidon midi, droite 90, bidon midi, 30 mètres, gauche 110, bidon ouvre à fond, 50 mètres, gauche 130 plus bref, pour droite 140 midi, sur gauche 130 plus bref, 50 mètres, droite 140 bidon midi ouvre et 70 mètres frein, gauche 120 moins midi, 30 mètres, droite 90, moins bidon, 90 moins bidon, pour léger salle, gauche 120 vite, qui ouvre poussière, 80 mètres, gauche 140 bref, poussière, 60 mètres, droite 120 plus midi, droite 120 plus midi, 35 mètres, gauche 120, bidon très tard, pour gauche 120 à fond, 50 mètres, droite 130 à fond, pas corde, 50 mètres, droite 140 midi, 100 mètres frein, gauche 110 plus midi, 110 plus midi, sur droite corde, 40 mètres, gauche 120 10, 50 mètres droite, sur frein 30 mètres, gauche 100, pour droite 100 bidon midi juste, sur gauche 100 bidon qui ouvre léger, 100 bidon, 120 mètres, attention frein, droite 120 plus, pas corde. Pas corde, 50 mètres, gauche 120 qui ouvre long à fond. 120 mètres, gauche 130 plus bidon, 130 plus bidon. 40 mètres, frein avant gauche, 20 mètres, droite 110. 110 pour gauche 132, frein sur droite 98, bidon, corde de risque. 50 mètres, gauche 90, bon bidon, léger tenir. 90, bon bidon, léger tenir, 60 mètres. Gauche 140 mètres derrière, frein gauche 100 plus. Devant buisson, 140 mètres, gauche 100 plus. Pour droite 90 plus, bidon, midi. 90 plus, bidon, midi. 40 mètres, gauche 120 plus. 120 plus sur droite 130 corde, pour gauche 130 à fond. 100 mètres, frein, droite 90 bidon, corde après risque. 90 bidon, corde après risque. Pour gauche. Gauche pour droite 140 plus, midi. 60 mètres, frein, gauche en 10 points, bidon tard. 3 bidon tard. Sur gauche 120 plus. 120 plus, 70 mètres. Gauche 120 plus, midi léger tard. Sur droite 10 cordes et 50 mètres, gauche 130 plus corde. Sur droite 130 pas corde, 60 mètres gros frein. Gauche 123 plus, sur droite 90, mi-long corde. 70 mètres. Droite 120 plus, midi. Droite 120 plus, midi. Pour gauche 80 mètres, gros frein avant gauche 133 plus tard. Sur gauche 80 bon, mi-long pas corde. Pour gauche droite 150 mètres derrière. Frein gauche 120 très vite, midi léger tard. 120 très vite, midi léger tard. 100 mètres. Frein droite 120, corde profond, droite 120, corde profond. Pour droite 120, midi, droite 120, midi, 50 mètres, frein droite 100 plus, corde risque. Sur gauche 130 bref, qui ouvre, 60 mètres, frein gauche 90, moins bidon midi. Moins bidon midi, pour droite à fond. 100 mètres, frein avant gauche 143, pour droite 110. Droite 110, 50 mètres. Gauche 120 plus midi. 40 mètres, frein, droite 100 plus, très étroit, droite 100 plus, très étroit, sur droite 120 plus, et 50 mètres siège, gauche 111, ferme 90, moins, bidon, très étroit, 30 mètres, gauche 120, gauche 110, 70 mètres, droite 110, tourne, sur droite 110, sur gauche, 40 mètres derrière, gauche, et 50 mètres, frein, gauche 110, bidon, midi après, pour droite 102, frein, pour droite 80, moins, 50 mètres, droite 120 plus, 120 plus ouvre, 70 mètres frein, gauche 110 moins sur toute la corde qui ouvre, 180 mètres, gauche, 100 mètres derrière, gros frein avant droite, 122 corde de cheval sale, sur épingle gauche 50, 150 mètres, épingle droite 50, léger tard, léger tard, pour gauche à fond, 120 mètres, droite 140 à fond, 150 mètres derrière, frein avant droite 120 plus, midi tenir, droite 120 plus, midi tenir, pour gauche 130 tenir, 25 mètres, droite 120, pour droite 120, 70 mètres, frein droite 110, bon milon, 60 mètres, gauche 130 midi, sur frein 20 mètres, droite 110, corde dure, 100 mètres, gauche 130 à fond, midi tard, bref, 120 mètres, gauche 140, bon midi, et 150 mètres derrière, gros frein, gauche 80 bidon et 3 sur pont. Sur droite à fond. 70 mètres derrière, droite 130, bon rasé, 130 bon rasé qui ouvre pour un gauche. 80 mètres, droite 130 léger tenir. 80 mètres, un gauche 120 plus, très juste, 120 plus, très juste. 50 mètres, droite 120 plus, bidon trace. 120 plus, bidon trace, sur gauche 130 plus, midi bref, et 60 mètres frein, gauche 130 moins corde, 80 mètres. Gauche 100 mètres frein, gauche 140, tour de bidon corde. 120 mètres, gauche et 100 mètres, attention frein, droite 100 moins, pas corde, léger sale. Pour gauche 120 midi, 120 mètres. Frein droite 90 moins, long corde, léger tenir. Moins long corde, léger tenir. Pour gauche 100. Gauche 100, 100 mètres. Gauche 130 plus, 10 cordes risque. Pour gauche 130 corde, sur droite 50 mètres, frein, gauche 120 plus corde, 80 mètres. Frein droite 120 plus, pas corde, 120 plus, pas corde, sur frein 35 mètres, droite 110 traces, 50 mètres, gauche 90, moins bidon, pas corde, qui ferme. 120 mètres, droite 120 très tard, 120 très tard, trace, sur frein 40 mètres, gauche 120 juste, sur droite 120 plus, bidon, pas corde, qui ouvre. Pour gauche 130 plus, corde bref, 100 mètres, frein, gauche 130 plus, corde, 130 plus, sur 30 mètres, droite 120 plus, tenir, sur gauche 120 bon corde, sur droite 150 mètres derrière, frein droite 130 moins, pour gauche 140 à fond corde, 80 mètres, frein droite 110, droite 110, sur gauche 110, plus 50 mètres, droite 130 à fond, mini-risque, 100 mètres, frein droite 100 plus, pilon corde, qui ouvre, 100 mètres, frein gauche 90, bon bidon mini, gauche 90, bon bidon mini, pour droite 80 mètres derrière, frein droite 122, léger tard, ferme 110 corps de risque, 80 mètres, frein droite 110, bidon ferme, sur gauche 100 bidon mouillé sorti, 100 bidon mouillé sorti, pour droite 110 plus, droite 110 plus 30 mètres, gauche 132, frein pour droite 100 plus, droite 100 plus ouvre 40 mètres, gauche 120 plus, corde de trace, sur droite 120 plus, bref corde, sur gauche 140 à fond corde, 100 mètres piège, gros frein gauche 100, et 3 rails mouillés sur pont, 100 mètres, gauche 90 plus, corde juste, gauche 90 plus, corde juste, 120 mètres, droite qui arrivée, sur gauche 150 à fond, gauche 150 à fond.
I was watching him coming out the final corner yesterday, and people in the slipstream were still getting left behind. He gets so tucked in on the bike, he can still make a gap on the straight even when he's being followed by some people, so that could work in his favour here.
Definitely. He's only about 52 kilos or so is Deniz Öncü, so one of the smaller riders on the Moto3 grid. Another name you might be a bit unfamiliar with on that grid is Danny Valle, so he is replacing Apiwat Wongtananon. Not 100% sure why Wongtananon isn't here this weekend, but he's been called up into the VR46 Master Camp outfit, Fran. You were down there yesterday, finding out a little bit more information about it as well.
Well, yeah, obviously the Master Camp is it's a Yamaha program. It's in partnership with Valentino Rossi. It's basically Yamaha chooses a group of kids to go to Tavullia and get loads of skills and training and different stuff. And Danny Valle, yeah, he's obviously a Yamaha Blue Crew guy in World Supersport 300, and then he's got the chance now to come here and race here. So it'd be interesting to see what he can do, because obviously he's not got the experience on the bike, but he's not so far off, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the race.
Yeah, I had a chance to chat to Danny Valle yesterday, and he had a grin the size of Valencia after riding that KTM. He was very, very pleased. So here is Aleix Vieux then, on board the 81, on pole position. Riders just making their way to the grid. That is your front row, Aleix Vieux, Canon Chu and Celestino Vietti. Keep an eye out for the second row of the grid as well. We could see a few surprises as well from the Estrella bikes, as well as Manuel Pagliani. The green flag is waved at the back. Keep your eye on the top left-hand corner of your screen. The lights will come on in just a few moments' time. Here they go then. The red lights are on. We get ready to go racing as they go out, and we get the Moto3 Junior World Championship at Valencia underway. Great start from Vietti Ramas. He immediately gets the whole shot as we head down towards the first corner, and Vieux getting swallowed up there by the two Estrella bikes as well as Canon Chu. Are they all going to peter into the first corner and make it through very cleanly? Well, they're all running wide and extending track limits. Alcoba out wide as well as Fernandez, but at the moment it's still Vietti Ramas who leads the way as Vieux goes up the inside of Sergio Garcia for second place at turn number 2, and now Vieux is on the outside into turn 3. That's going to be very challenging for him with Alcoba very close behind, but a nice clean start there, Fran. Everybody fortunately making it through.
Yeah, I think maybe slightly by virtue of the runoff there, but that was incredible. Almost half the field maybe over there. That's okay. Oh, we've got to change for the lead already. But yeah, that's okay on the first lap, you know, but track limits is something they'll have to watch for the rest of the race if they continually abuse that. Yeah. Like here again, you see on that green stuff ain't allowed.
No, certainly right, and we see now Sergio Garcia into the lead of the race as Vieux tries to duck under the inside of Jeremy Alcoba. He gets it through, so up into third position for the Maranelli Snipers rider, and now you can see Sergio Garcia just trying to create that gap, trying to do the full Tom Sykes as we saw at Assen last weekend in World Superbike and try and create that gap, but we know how difficult it is in Moto3, and it's all about avoiding that big mistake.
Definitely. I mean, I was going to say previously, before we had that change for the lead, that Celestino will have his memory firmly fixed on Dennis Foggia last year, who was the absolute king of Valencia, just left them at the front. But sadly, that dream is already a little bit over, unless he can make up some ground here. He seems to be just struggling a little bit compared to Garcia, certainly, who's trying to bolt, like you say.
Difficult opening lap as well for Canon Chu. You can see him now then behind Marc Garcia. He's just inside the top 10 as the riders come over the timeline for the first time. The slipstream is going to come into effect once more. And look at Manuel Pagliani. He's having to battle with Garcia as well as we go into the first corner. They're just inside the top 10, as we can say. This is going to be very, very interesting indeed. But Sergio Garcia from view, and now here we can see Alcoba and Fernandez as somebody runs it well wide into turn 1. Once again, track limits being extended, and we have seen penalties being given out in previous rounds at the FIM-CEV Repsol for extending track limits too much during the race. As you said, Fran, Race Direction going to have a keen eye on that over the course of this.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of those recurring themes throughout, you know, sort of MotoGP 2, 3, and here also. Just making sure that, you know, mistakes, okay, obviously everyone makes them sometimes, but you can't be too cheeky, I think, is the ultimate sensible way to look at the rule. But yeah, Garcia really putting his foot down here, and seems to be making a bit of a gap. I think, yeah, it's pretty surprising to me anyway that there's such a gap at the moment between sort of a rough first group and second group so early in the race. We'll have to see if they settle in a bit more and can catch those guys.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the course of this 18-lapper. You can see there that quite a significant advantage Sergio Garcia already has, right about 0.8 of a second or so as we come through into the final part of the lap. Aleix Vieux just leading Jeremy Alcoba for second and third position. Raul Fernandez, then the two Asia Talent Team bikes of Yuki Kuni, Somkiat Chantra also in there. Celestino Vietti just losing a bit of ground on these opening couple of laps, and then comes the other Asia Talent Cup bike of
Ayagura.
Yes, sorry, there we go. There's so many bikes and they all look very similar as well. It's a bit tricky to find out who's
I think the junior talent team and the Asia Talent guys, it can be a bit difficult. It's like the Asia Talent Cup. It's very, very difficult when you can't see the number. They all exactly the same livery. But yeah, those guys have had a great start. They'll be super happy to have those three of them already in their pretty solid start and making some good progress from where they started on the grid.
Great start from Danny Baye as well, from 29th position on the grid. He's already up into 20th. So really good stuff from the young Spaniard as Alcoba ducks up the inside of View up into second place. So it's now an Estrella Galicia 1-2 here in the Moto3 race. Really good stuff from him. And I think Raul Fernandez on that KTM is going to be fancying a bit of a challenge. But it seems to be in these opening stages, Fran, the Honda's looking really, really strong. The only KTM we can see in that leading group at the moment is Raul Fernandez.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting so far, and also, yeah, Garcia obviously seems to have a bit of a personal advantage on this track at the moment. But yeah, there's not so many. It's like you say, a bit of a Honda party at the front at the moment.
Yeah, well, he's 15 years old, is Sergio Garcia, one of the smaller riders, as we said, on the grid as well. So that advantage will help around this circuit. It's a very, very interesting track for racing, as we can see, as we come through in towards that middle part of the lap. Not necessarily too much of an overtaking opportunity there, but everybody making it very cleanly through. And this is going to be a very interesting battle for the podium positions. View looking very, very strong. He would love to take a podium. It would do him wonders for his confidence as well. We saw him in Aragon last year fighting for the race victory, but then spectacularly crashing out after losing the rear end at the final corner. And he just, I think, wants to get onto the box once again.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like he might have been about to try and nibble there into the final corner, but it probably is more sensible to try and use the slipstream down the straight and do it into turn 1. But now he seems to have lost a little bit of ground on Alcoba there, so we'll have to see. And now, yeah, he's under attack as well. So not quite worked out there. These guys got to be careful they don't fight too much and let Garcia extend that gap, because it's already pretty sizable just over a second.
Oh dear, that's Marc Garcia going down at the first corner. He has gone straight into the gravel trap for the Max Biaggi team on board the KTM. And, well, you can see the bike there stricken in the gravel. We'll wait for an update on Marc Garcia's condition as soon as we can bring it to you. But that was a fast crash into that first corner.